So you don't know what you're talking about. You're not educated on genetics.
Would you like to discuss the genetics? Or
Well, no,
what
no.
are your genetics? Sir?
So I'd stay away from the genetics and back to the brain scans.
You cut that out now, or you'll go home in an ambulance.
And you said, I may have a desire to sleep with many women, but I do not.
I agree with me.
That's what you do on your show, because it sucks.
You know, Malcolm. Malcolm, I appreciate that, but I will comfort myself tonight by sleeping on my bed made of money.
Hollywood has a problem. It has been dominated by a woke culture pushing agendas over storytelling for years. One man has consistently called it out: Ben Shapiro. Love or hate him, he is challenging the very foundations of the entertainment industry. And today, we're breaking it all down. Buckle up. It's going to get spicy.
You have to answer for men's bad behavior, which is insane, but if you point that out, you're accused of complaining.
Admiral, Commander Dameron, with our current fuel consumption, there's a very limited amount of time that we can stay out of range of those Star Destroyers.
Very kind of you to make me aware.
Stick to your post and follow my orders.
From virtue signaling at award shows to rewriting beloved franchises with political agendas, Hollywood's gone woke, and the backlash, it's growing. Enter Ben Shapiro, founder of the Daily Wire, who isn't just criticizing Hollywood's creating alternatives. This isn't just a critique, it's a cultural battle.
Here's the thing. A lot of members of the left are starting to realize that wokeness is destroying America, which is why of late you've seen some conversations about how you're not supposed to use the term wokeness, which is weird since they made it up. And so I'm fine with using the term wokeness. I intend on continuing to use that word. It is their fault that it became a poisonous word, not mine. It's because the idea is incredibly stupid.
All of this comes at a great cost. One place its price is paid is in high-quality storytelling. Instead of telling timeless themes and compelling tales, we are subjected to this.
Oh, do you have friends whose grandparents were Holocaust survivors or anything like that?
Of course, many of them. Yeah, I've helped write memoirs of Holocaust survivors.
Yeah. Their families are kind of messed up, right? Like, my family is very messed up.
I mean, if you go through a trauma like the Holocaust, I would imagine it would have
They
impact.
teach that trauma between generations. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, trauma very often in a lot of circumstances is passed down. I mean, I know some kids of Holocaust survivors who turned out fantastic and some who didn't. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Okay, so you are officially woke. That is what wokeness is about. It's like, people's grandparents or their great-grandparents were slaves.
Well, it's okay. No, it's okay.
I'm talking.
Guys, I actually want to hear. I want to hear.
No, this
it's
guy,
okay. It's okay. I want to hear. Let's at least hear the argument. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Go.
What? He wants to hear me.
I do want to hear it. It's fine. Let him go.
Wants to hear
Let's hear it.
Come on. I'll just,
So explain how that's woke.
So, I mean, the whole thing is like, let's see. So during Silent Cal, Calvin Coolidge's administration, do you know about like the Great Mississippi Flood back in the 1930s?
I understand that American history is filled with racial evil.
Yeah. And that causes some intergenerational trauma, which affects people's ability to be
so let me
things like that.
Fine. So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Why? So if the idea is that history has consequences, of course that's true. That's not wokeness.
Yeah.
That is not wokeness. What wokeness suggests is that fundamental institutions in American society are so. Yes, it 100% does. The gap has been emerging in real time between Hollywood and the rest of the United States. Hollywood made Atomic Blonde, which was an attempt to respond to James Bond by basically just making James Bond a woman. Very often, the critics are just judging movies almost solely based on politics.
Ben Shapiro. This is not entertainment, it's propaganda masquerading as a movie. They do not want a lecture, it's escapism they want. And the numbers at the box office prove it. Films and shows with political agendas usually flop, while unapologetically non-woke content thrives.
Folks, on Friday, we did something really cool here at Daily Wire. We released our first major motion picture, Run, Hide, Fight.
In 2021, Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire said enough was enough with Hollywood. Instead of continuing to criticize Hollywood, they set up their film studio, creating content that is against the grain of the woke narrative.
Run, Hide, Fight stars Isabel May and Thomas Jane. It is an edge-of-your-seat thriller. It's awesome. It's R-rated, edgy, gritty, complex, exciting. It's the stuff that you want in a movie. You would watch it whether you're conservative or not conservative.
What do they hold? A retelling more rooted in traditional values, gripping narratives, and without preachiness. Ben Shapiro. Hollywood does not monopolize entertainment. They can't make good movies. We will. And it's not just about Ben Shapiro or the Daily Wire. This is part of a larger cultural shift. Audiences are sick of being lectured. They want art that entertains, not preaches.
In one of your more infamous debates, you said, "I'm not going to modify basic biology because it threatens your subjective sense of what you are."
Yes.
My argument is not that terms like biological female or biological male are necessarily offensive. My argument is that you are saying that referring to a trans woman as a woman or a trans man as a man or et cetera, is like inherently offensive or threatens biology. And I'm curious why it's so threatened when there's clear precedent for changing the language.
Again, the term mother does not include father. Every category has to have boundaries. The boundary of female starts at male. And when you start including male in the category of female, you are threatening biological definitions as well as basic truth.
Well, you could say the category of mother starts at conception, or, a biological relation to an offspring. But as we know,
but again, the idea that you are, the idea of motherhood being the act of mothering, right? And that is a female. A female does the act of mothering. You can say that a female who does the act of mothering is a mother, but you also have a special category called biological motherhood. I'm not going to say that an adoptive mom and a biological mom have precisely the same definition. They don't. They're underneath a subset of category called motherhood. That motherhood sometimes involves birth, sometimes it does not, but it certainly involves being a female.
What do you think about the distinction between cis women and trans women?
Explain.
Well, you're saying that a more inclusive usage of the word mother isn't particularly offensive because we also have biological mother.
Yes.
We've offered the term cis woman, and even biological woman or assigned female at birth. We've offered a variety of terms that properly categorize people.
Again, you cannot extend the term woman to apply to a biological male. Every category has an endpoint. If there are only two categories, male and female, and you say that female now is in this category, there are no definitions. There are no definitions. I mean, to paraphrase my friend Matt Walsh, I'm going to need you to explain what a woman is without reference to the word woman. We can go on all day like this, but...
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it's necessarily circular to say that a woman is someone who exhibits womanhood.
Independent creators are rising. Platforms like YouTube and Rumble are giving voices to those who are fighting the status quo, proving that the monopoly Hollywood once held is crumbling.
Religion of wokeness suggests a bunch of conflicting things, and the only way to avoid the conflict is to just listen and repeat. Listen and believe. Right? That's the basic idea here. Sex and gender are two different concepts, but gender is tied to biology. So one of the big problems that you see in sort of the argument in favor of trans rights is this notion that gender and sex are completely separable. They're not completely separable. If they are completely separable, then this means that identifying people by their subjective gender really has no relevance as to whether they are a male or a female. Okay, the fact of the matter is that the culture is dominated by the left, all the cultural institutions. And it's not just that Hollywood is dominated by the left, it's that their content caters almost solely to the left. You'll have a tentpole flick every so often that really brings in the big bucks, but most of their low-level content is replete with leftist messaging.
Hollywood is not invincible at all. This is up to creators like Ben Shapiro and audiences like you to call for more. The real question is, which side are you on? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content exposing the truth about woke culture.